Welcome guys, this is Wizzy, and this is Wolcen Lords of Mayhem. It is an ARPG by Wolcen Studios, and it's a great work in development. If you're a fan of like Path of Exile or Diablo, not necessarily Diablo 3, even though it's kind of got some similarities, but more so like Diablo 2 kind of mixed with Diablo 3 mixed with Path of Exile. It's a little... kind of like a hybrid of a lot of things, but it's really cool, and there's a lot of like potential to come about it. And yeah, I've been playing it for a day now. I just bought it, decided to support it after I saw it on Steam. It was only $20, and it's great. I figured I would give it a shot. There was good reviews, and you know, here I am now. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new character. Go ahead and talk about everything. So there's male and there's female. I don't know why females are standing on their tippy toes and what's going on with all that, but yeah, it's whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna make a dude, and you can make him fat, or you can make him anorexic, or like a weird mix of all of them. Yeah, it's awesome. Anyways, so I'm gonna make a really fat dude, just because he's gonna be fat and muscular, not just undertoned fats. Okay, and then we're going to change the way his hair. I'm not gonna make him. No, I'm not gonna make him bald. I'll give him semi-decent long hair. It's whatever. But the eye features are pretty cool, especially these 10 and 11. So I don't know if you want to make him like evil or this weird hybrid of a god or a demon or whatever. But that's pretty cool, and it's great that they give it for free instead of making it a microtransaction. That's really great. He doesn't necessarily have a beard. I'm gonna give him... I'll give him purple hair. That seems to work. And I'm just gonna call him Wiz. Okay. Now let's take Wiz into the world of Wolcen. Now, something that you'll notice is that this is in the CryEngine, so the game is absolutely beautiful. It's not entirely optimized just yet, because my computer can easily run it at max settings. I have them reduced, specifically just for the recording and the fact that it runs smoother. But despite all that, the game is still beautiful. I have really no complaints about anything. The combat feels like it still needs to be polished a little bit, but it's very responsive. And like a lot of the skill effects, they're quite great. Now, there is a couple ways that you can build your characters. So there's like the traditional strength builds, the dex builds, magic based builds, daggers, bows, two-handed swords. They even have things like Titan's Grip equivalent from like World of Warcraft. It's where you can dual wield two-handers or wield a two-hander in one hand. Things like that, all pretty cool. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to build this character yet. I might go for something a little bit more magical. I'm not entirely sure, but we will find out. We will find out. I might go magic. Yeah, I'm gonna go magic on this guy. Make him a nice, big, fat wizard. So this is Wolcen. The UI should be very familiar with pretty much any like ARPG. I'm gonna go ahead and actually disable those. Show FPS, yes, and then it should be, nope, it's not controls, game settings, right? Yes. Okay, so we're gonna get our first ability here, and we got Fireball and Lightning Strike. Now I'm gonna go Fireball. I'm gonna go Magic, and I'm gonna make it fire-based. So this is the inventory. So all your skills are by tomes. As you can see, I got the Tome of Fireball, and I had to learn it. game has roll, and this is another thing too, is that you can move the screen. That's not a lot of things that, or that's not something that a lot of ARPGs can do, which I find, you know, cool. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do. There's a lot of ways that you can build the world around that. One thing you'll notice is my resource bars are moving. So abilities like Fireball, for example, use what is called Umbra, which is essentially magic, and it builds up the orange, which is Rage. And there's abilities that use up Rage. For example, my right click. Well, I don't have the Rage for it now, but so let me build up. I'm gonna use the Fireballs, which by the way look amazing, and they do a lot of damage. Good, nice little beginning nuke. So my Rage bar is, you know, getting pretty filled up, and then my right click is basically just a slam. Nice little ground slam that does pretty good damage. And now we're just going to continue on. So these drop glodes, or globes, however you want to call them. One for basically each of the resources, and then there's one health. Like that red one was just health. So that's very similar to Diablo 3's. How they have their health glodes, experience, and all that kind of stuff. I believe that one is Umbra, I'm not entirely sure. One thing this game has too, which has disabled at the start for some reason, is an auto dash. It doesn't even tell you that's what auto dash is, but there you go. It's basically just a dash forward that you can do every X amount of seconds, and it's quite powerful. It's awesome. So we got our first shield. Yeah. But yeah, as you can see, the game is in the CryEngine, and it is amazing. It is so beautiful. And like you can interact, like you see that? So watch the grass. The fireball makes it all, you know, like move. It's awesome. So there's a lot of stuff that you could probably do with it. You can make the interactive worlds. Things can fall over when you attack it. This also has environmental elements. So like lightning, if you hit it water, it'll chain out basically within the water area. Like fireball doesn't do a lot of damage if they're within water. Things like that. So I'm gonna keep going. I don't really care too much about the starting zone. Just like all starting zones with pretty much any ARPG, there's not a lot of stuff going on. It's kind of just to teach you the mechanics of the game, which I've pretty much gone over, and it's to get you to the first boss to begin the quest. Get you familiar with the world, familiar with the controls, and all that other good stuff. That's another thing too, is you can click to move, very similar to like RuneScape, for example, and you can also hold the mouse to move as well. And now we're gonna go fight the first boss area. A little bit of a targeting issue there, I've noticed. Fireball has a nice AoE. I will give it that. I didn't really mess with much with Fireball last time. Kind of went lightning. And there's the first boss. They let us move while we're queuing the cutscenes, so I will abuse the shit out of it. And I'll just fireball them down. Very, very simple, very easy. And this is Brother Leon, your quest NPC. You escaped the Rutler's prison, blah blah. So I guess from my understanding is that you were a commander or whatever with the Republic, and then you got locked in jail, and then you just managed to escape somehow. There's not really a lot else about the backstory I've come to notice. You kind of just go back into town, and you go and start doing quests everywhere, whether it be fetch quests, you know, anything for that matter. But yeah, as you can see, the video right now seems very little steady. I assure you that is not my computer. That's just the optimization on it. Which, I mean, it's understandable. It is an alpha. This is build 0.503. Yep, 0.5.0.3a. Right? Like, I'm constantly getting 60 FPS. I have a nice, you know, like 15 millisecond server integration. It's great. It's cool. Okay, and moving on. So this is Father Gernez. Leon, glad to see you back without a scratch. Who is this newcomer? We met at the ancient waypoint. It got reactivated, and probably this person's presence. It was an old prison. Skid riddance and finally Father Brothers to the waypoint. Alright, so basically, I don't know if the story is going to change at all or how they're going to upgrade it. But basically, you were in a prison. You don't know how you were in the prison. It doesn't really tell you. And yeah, you just escaped somehow. Okay, so this is your stat page, this is character page. So all your damage, you know, your survivability, status alignments, all this miscellaneous stuff, weapon damage, attack speed. You can kind of read what's on your screen. Very informative, very typical of pretty much any ARPG. So right now I'm going to put all my stuff into Constitution because things in the environment hit very hard. Poison is ridiculous. For example, if you catch yourself standing in a pool, you'll die fast. That or I just suck. But either way, I'm going full Constitution right now. So here's your free merchandise. Yep, you get some free basic farmer clothes. Well, villager clothes. It's essentially farmer stuff. Okay, and then good. So we're gonna go find basically a comrade of Leon and of the Republic. And we're trying to find an alchemist as well. So this also has a stash, just like every other ARPG in existence. So it has the basics, right? Oh, and this is another thing. After you level up too, you get stat points. So if you've ever played Path of Exile, something like this will be very familiar to you, which is great. I love this system because not only do you get the basic tree, right? So you start out in the center and you can branch out in any way. But say I click on... Oh. So, I gotta go back to the rings. Which is not that big of a deal. But you can rotate the rings to fit your playstyle. So, say that you want to go this way, right? Towards the thief. Right now, it's got the thief going into gladiator. That doesn't really make sense. Like, why would you want to go from a thief with, you know, like dodge rolling and building dexterity, stealth, and all that stuff to someone who can wield two-handed melee weapons as if they were one-handed, right? Why? That doesn't really make sense. So you can click on the ring and you can move it to fit whatever playstyle you deem fit. So like this is the ranged weapons one, Trickster. And this is the Elementalist. This is your magic base. This is the Warden, which is very defensive, kind of guardian thing. And then this is the Assassin. So yeah, so you can build up from the Thief, and you can build your way into an Assassin. There's only 2 rings right now. There looks to be 2 more. So you got your inner ring, which is your beginning one. Then you got more of an advanced class, and then probably 2 more advanced versions of that. However, that's something else that you can do as well. So say that you wanted to go down the mage route, for example, like I'm going to. So I'm going to start with Spellbender and get that kind of stuff, right? However, I can also move into Trickster. So I can have all this elemental power, right? So spellcasting, speed, Umber recovery, whatever. And then I can move that into Trickster. So I can increase my dexterity and my constitution. And I can increase my physical damage with ranged weapons. So I don't know if that's going to necessarily lead to becoming an elemental bow user, for example. But if so, that's great. You know, if you want to go from an elementalist to, well, an arcanist to an elementalist, which is your gung-ho mage, pure mage build, you can. If you want to go from legionary, which is your basic fighter, you know, your DPS based, hits, holds two-handed weapon, dual wield, single-handed weapons, whatever, into someone who is, you know, does elemental damage, you can do that. Say like Master of Elements, you deal 30% increased elemental damage. You cannot do non-elemental damage. So that could be very good if you have weapons that do a lot of elemental damage and you're working around that. So, you know, you can build that kind of battle mage aspect as well. Yeah, with Warden, I think honestly that would be great. Say you didn't want to go Guardian, which is your basic defensive stuff, or you want to start with Guardian, right? So you get Thorns and you're more survival and whatever, and then you want to branch out into one of the other skills, you can do that. So I'm gonna go full, well, basic mage to start off with. You get your 3 points and you get your first passive, or your toggleable passive with the toggleable. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on my bar. So this is Spellbender and passive mode, increase your Umbra regeneration, which is your basic mana. So things like Fireball and whatnot, that all uses Umbra. So this increases your regeneration, and when you activate it, you increase your spell damage. So your Umbra regeneration goes down, right? However, I can activate it to get 25% increased spell damage, which is great. So there's really no negatives about that. It's 25% cooldown, or a 15-second cooldown for a 25% spell increased, or spell damage increase. And the only downside is you don't get your Umbra regeneration during that time, which is honestly not that big of a deal. I've never played a mage before on this game, so I don't really know how that pans out in the long run, if Umbra regeneration is a bad thing, if something that needs to get worked on, or if it's something that gear and skills bring naturally where you don't have to worry about it. Who knows? Okay, and we're moving on. So there's warning me there's a lot of dangerous creatures out here, like this level 2 starving undead. But first we're gonna go up here and get the waypoint, because knowing me, I may die. But anyways, this is the map of Wolcen. This is what is available so far. As you can see, there's a couple waypoints, and there's a lot of other stuff going on, including like another flag. So this could be another not necessarily race, but another faction. I mean, like, who knows what's going on? Who knows what they'll add to this game, if this map will expand out. We can go deeper into the mountains, you know, whatever. And we're moving on. Okay. So I'm just going to kill everything with fireballs for the most part. If I need some Umbra back, I can use my rage abilities to kind of get some of them back. Something else that's really cool, and I hope that I get really soon, is a staff. So staffs are really cool. So you got the basic attacks, and they do like a little chain thing. I got a blue. So if you ever played Diablo 3, the way that they color all this gear and stuff is very similar to Diablo 3, which honestly I'm okay with. It would be cool if you still had to identify things. I don't know if that's something that's going to be added and they just don't have it added for simplicity reasons right now or whatever. But yeah, that's that. I'm going to put everything into stamina still. As you can see, I'm getting power naturally from the skill tree. It's not really needed. And you can also get 3 points per. I don't know if that's going to change down the road, so where you're getting 1 point per level up, which honestly makes more sense than 3. But maybe they're also just trying to help you hit the trees to test everything out, see how it's going. So resistance. So you got 3 power, 5 constitution. Okay, so you got Umbra Generation. And then we're gonna get that. Minus 10% Umbra cost of skills. I like that as well. Now something that's over in here is the fire affinity, which I'm glad that they have this. Before you were able to move them whenever you wanted, so I'm really glad that they added that. We're gonna check out this little hole. More blue trousers. And then this guy, level 3 Gravekeeper. So he dropped some gear and a lot of gold. Ah, move, Leon. Yeah, it looks like little things that you can tell that it's still an alpha is like an enemy up here standing on the rafter. And you can't target him. But, I mean, it's an alpha. Things are going to happen. It's understandable. Alright, so I got some more gear. Let's check it out. So I got this, pretty much basic stuff. Physical resistance, frost resistance, yes, I'll take it. 33 dexterity, plus 2 defensive. Never mind, I'm going to wear that instead. This one has maximum health, and that does not do more damage. Alright. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this first video, and you can say hello to, if I can get him up here, yeah, to this level 3 undead, as he sits up there in the rafter. But yeah guys, thanks for watching, and I'll get back to you with more videos and continuing this Let's Play of my fat spell slinger with amazing eyes. Thank you.